Hi, I'm Tereza with PotomacBeads. Join me today and make my Octocup necklace with cup buttons and seed beads. If you need any of the materials, head below the video into the description box where you can find all the links for purchasing the items at PotomacBeads.com or PotomacBeads EU. Gather them up and we will start working. So to start and to make this necklace, we will need to make multiple segments from cup buttons. There's 11 segments in the final necklace for me, but you can do how many you wish. And every segment is made from 3 cup buttons. Here I went for the option of jet full Sliperit, and it's combined together with Etched full Sliperit. So you can see there's like the shiny and the matted version, and it mixes up well together. And now I will show you how to make the cup button segment. It's very easy, it's very quick. I'm using black wildfire. I'm using a longer piece of thread because I will, with this piece of thread, make multiple of the segments. And to start, leave a longer tail because then you need to hide the tail into the beads, and it's definitely easier to make it like if you leave like 10 to 15 centimeters. And then you will add 3 15-ohs, the cup button. It's a 2-hole bead again, so check both holes if you can go through. Then I will keep the longer tail. Then I will add 3 more 15-ohs. And I go through the second hole. And then I will add again 3 more 15-ohs. Again through the first hole of the cup button from the bottom up. Again 3 more 15-ohs, going down through the second hole. 3 more 15-ohs, adding the third cup button, going from the bottom up. Three more 15-ohs and going down through the cup button. So that's all the beads for one segment. Then you need to slide everything together so there's no thread showing like this. So slide and everything will be next to each other. And now what we will do, we will go through all the beads one more time without adding any more beads. So I'm going through the first 15-oh I added and the first cup button hole. I'm going in the same direction, so it makes a circle from the beads. And now I will skip the 3 15-ohs and I will go directly to the hole because it's like with all the angles it's difficult to go again through the beads, but the beads will hide the thread, so don't worry, and you can't see it now. Then go between the 15-ohs, through the 15-ohs between the cup buttons and up through the first hole of the second cup button. Keep everything tight, then down again through the second hole of the second cup button. The 15-ohs between the cup buttons. Sometimes it might be a bit tricky. And finally the third cup button. And out through the second hole of the cup button. So now the tail and the thread should be at the same place so you can tie a knot. So drop the needle and make 3 knots preferably. 1, 2, and 3. And now everything should be nice and tight, no thread showing between beads anywhere. And now you need to just get away from the knot and cut the thread. So with the thread which was threaded into my needle, I'm going back up through the cup button, hopefully without any additional knots. So like this, and then I will again, because this is not enough, I will go again down, like in the reverse direction, through the second hole of the cup button and the 50 nose between these 2 cup buttons, and then I will cut it. Basically I'm trying to get away from the knot enough. You can also go through the cup button because it's easier. I'm trying to get away from the knot as far as possible so everything stays nice and tight and secure. Then I will use my thread zap and cut this thread. And now I will thread the second thread using my pliers to flatten the tip. And hopefully I will be quick, yes. And when with this tail I will go through the 50 nose in the other direction, and then I will cut the cord. And I used 10 size needle, which wasn't very clever, so I will have to switch. But I will go through these 50 nose in this direction again through the cup button probably because it's easier than to zap the thread. And then the first segment is done. Then it's up to how many of those you will make. I made 11. Basically they will sit on your neck in the front. So if you want to make it long or extra long around the whole neck, that's your call. It's also possible, but this will be like a tighter rope of cup buttons. So make as many as you need, and then I will join you again and we will connect them and string them on this one piece of wildfire. When you are done with your cup button segments, you need to string them and add 2 cup buttons on each side, which will work as clasps for you. I am using a longer piece of wildfire, approximately, at least for my 11 pieces, at least 60 centimeters. I went actually much longer just to be sure. So I have almost twice as that, and I am using 2 needles because it's easier to knot the final cup button with 2 needles and start actually in the middle. Which means that I am putting 1 cup button and I'm going from the top part to the bottom, and I'm putting it on both of my needles and I am sliding it down, and now it lies in the center of my threads. Then I will put 2 50 nose on on both needles, so 4 50 nose in total. I will slide them down towards the cup button, and then I will take the first needle, so they are currently now like this, and I will take the needle and the thread, which is currently this one, and I'm going through the other 2 seed beads from the bottom up. Then I'm putting this away, I'm taking the other one and going through the other 2 seed beads, and I'm pulling tight, and then I am continuing with the same needle and I'm adding 3 15-ohs, and I'm going again down through the cap button through the second hole, and I'm not sliding it completely down because now I need to go with my second needle through these 3 15-ohs, and it's easier before you tighten it up completely. So I'm going through it and also down through the cap button, and now you can pull tight everything. So you have 4 beads sitting here on the bottom and 3 beads sitting on the top. Now take one of those needles, for me it's the one on this side, go down through these 2 15-ohs, and pull. Take the other needle and go through the 2 other 15-ohs. And pull. And now we will add 3 more seed beads. So pick 3 15-ohs on one of your needles to start with, slide it down, put the first needle away, and in the same direction go through the second needle. And this is the one half of the clasp on the one of those sides. And now we start actually threading the segments we did in the previous step. And I will start with 6mm smooth round, so 6mm druk bead. You can also use fire polish, that's completely fine. And as I'm always adding the beads, I will immediately go with the second needle through it, then put it away, and try to keep everything nice and tight. So we will add always 6mm pressed round, and then you will add 6 15-ohs. So I have 6 15-ohs on one of my needles. I will slide them down, put the first needle away, taking the other one and going through them in the same direction, and pull. Using 2 needles in this might be a bit more complicated or seem a bit complicated, but at the same time you are stringing like the centerpiece, which is heavier. You have clasps on it, and definitely it makes it easier to knot later. So I would definitely recommend using 2 needles at once. And now it's time to actually string the first segment. You can go with both needles at the same time because the hole in the middle is large. So go through the middle with your threads. Yeah, and now it got a bit tangled up, of course. Yes, like this. So the seed beads are covered with the cap buttons on top, and at the same time the segment will be like anchored by the rounds, which means that now we need to add a round on this side too. So pick 1 round bead and go in the same direction through it with the second needle and slide it down. And now it's anchored like this. You can you can play with it, you can rotate it with it, and this is the step we will repeat to finish the whole front part of the necklace. So again, I will add 6 more 15-ohs, So I got 6. I will slide them down, and using the second needle I will go through them in the same direction and sliding them down. Now I will put on the second segment, but this time it's the Etched Sliperit with the first needle and the second needle, going down, and then again adding 6mm bead, going with both needles through it. And now you can continue like this, adding more button segments, keeping everything nice and tight without any unnecessary gaps between the 15-ohs and the rounds. And when you finish this, we will add the second button on the other side, which will finish this front button part of the necklace. So after stringing all beaded button segments, it's time to add the second button on the other side, and we will basically mirror the thing we did on the first side. So I'm putting one needle aside, and I'm stringing 3 15-ohs, and then I am adding 2 more. I just like to split like this, and the 2 more will be the little V-shape underneath the button, and I'm adding the first button through the first hole, and then I am going without anything down, pulling everything tight, adding 2 more seed beads, and I will now do a little circle. So I'm continuing still with the same thread and needle, and I have here the 5 15-ohs. I will skip the 3 first 15-ohs we added, and I will go only through the 2, which are the little V-shaped branch underneath the button. And then I will pull, and I will try to make everything without any gap between the beads. And you can either stay here or you can go up through the button so that the thread is not in your way. So now it's almost like what we did on the other side. We just need to add also the second thread. So I am going through the 3 15-ohs, which are closer to the 6mm round, and then you can see probably more on your actual beadwork that I just pulled it away now, but you can see that the thread is going through the one of those pairs of the 15-ohs. So with the second needle you want to go through the other one, so we'll connect it on both sides in the same way. And now I will pull, and the gap will disappear like this. And now it's time to add the 15-ohs there. So I can pick 3 15-ohs when I'm on the front side of the button, and I am going down and pulling. So now the thread is coming, one of the threads is coming on the front, and the other one is coming out here at the bottom. And now the only thing to do is to knot off the thread, which I would do somewhere below the button. So I would continue first with the thread we did the second time, and I would get through the 15-ohs right underneath the button in the middle here. Then I will put this away, and I will continue with the first thread going to the other side of the cap button and down through the 15 rows so that both threads are at the same place. Now pull a lot so there are no gaps and everything is tight. And like we did with the segments, you can just take the threads and easily knot them. You don't need to like do anything fancy, just take the threads and make a knot. It's a bit more difficult because they are longer, but I'm making a simple knot and I'm carefully knotting it in the middle, and I will do 2 more, so I have 3 in total. So there's second and the third. And like this. Now all I have to do is to go away from the knot, and I will go down in the direction of the cap buttons, of the segments, and come out somewhere there between the 15 rows or wherever it allows me, and I will secretly burn off the thread in there. So that's one needle eliminated. And now I will do the same with the other one. You might actually want to switch, if you have like a 10 size needle, you might want to switch to 12 here, which I had on the other thread, because we went through the 15 rows quite a few times already. So not to break any beads in this final stage, just switch to the 12 and go down through the beads, coming out again somewhere in between the cap buttons and the 15 rows in the middle. Yeah, final pull and burn off the thread. And this is the middle part. So you can use this as a just like pendant way that we add the rope, or you can even like try and make it into a bracelet. That was my original idea. Or you can make a very long section of this and make it into a full circle necklace. The next step of our project is making a rope for the front part of the necklace. You can even stop with the front part and use it just this, and then you can attach the clasp on some like leather and other stringing materials, so you don't have to even make a beaded rope. But I decided to show you how to connect it with the beaded one, because we like beads and we like beading, right? So what I did a herringbone rope. Herringbone with which started with 8 beads, and it has some color gradient to it. The color gradient doesn't have any specific pattern, and actually it goes as I worked, and you only need to know like the full length of your project, for the full length of your rope. Sorry for the noises. The full length of your rope. So I knew like that there are thirds to each half. So there's 1/3 of one color, 2/3 of the second color, 3rd of the third color. So, and then you just mix up the beads as you go, adding gradually more and more beads of the other color, and gradually not like changing the color. So that's that. But I will show you the beginning of the tubular herringbone, and if you struggle, visit our YouTube channel for other tubular herringbone video, which we have, and you can get inspired there and learn more into detail if you are a complete beginner. So there are 2 ways how to start a tubular herringbone rope. I will start with a ladder stitch. So I'm putting 2 11-0 beads because the whole rope is made from 11-0s. And I'm going through them once more. And I will position them next to each other like this. And I will go once more through the first bead, which means that the tail, which I again kept longer, is coming out together with my working thread from the same bead. I also switched the thread to KO thread, to Miyuki thread, because the wildfire would be like, you would spend a lot of thread on that and it would be quite stiff, so I like to switch through this kind of thread. Again, I am going through the second bead, and now I will be adding beads and then I need to start counting. So I'm picking up 1 11-0, going through the previous bead once more, and then through the 11-0 I add it. I'm picking up another 11-0, going from the other side through the previous 11-0, position, and going through the one I just added. And like this I will add 4 more beads. So this is a ladder stitch. The beads will move up and down a bit, and they won't stay in a straight line for this first row, but then as you continue your work it will get adjusted and it will pick up the shape of the herringbone stitch. It has a little V shape, then since from that like the herringbone name arrives. So I have 2, 4, 6, 7, 8 beads, and now I need to connect the circle. So just be sure that you didn't like cross it and that you are connecting the beads with the correct sides. So I should go up through the first bead and down, and to start on the right side, again up. So that's the base of your herringbone. You can also do herringbone from 6 or even 4, then it gets a bit like squarish shape, but I decided to go with 8 beads like this. So after this first row we will add more, and now we will work with 2 beads at once. So I'm picking 2 beads and I'm going down through the second bead, and you will adjust the pair and it will sit on the previous pair. Then you can turn your work and go up through the next bead. Pick 2 more beads, go down, turn, go up, 2 more, go down again. I'm faster than usual. As I said, you can watch the full tutorial on herringbone on our YouTube channel. Just search it in the info. Last pair. And now I will go up through the bead in the same row and also the first bead in the new row we added. And I will pull. Now it has a funny shape which will adjust itself. So another row will help a lot to this. So I'm picking again 2 beads and going down only through 1 bead. then I will turn and go up through the first bead from the next pair from the previous row. Picking 2 more beads, going down again through only 1 bead, going through the first bead of the next pair. I'm pulling so it gains the rope shape. Picking 2 more beads, going down and up through the bead of the next pair. Again, trying to adjust and pull a lot. Picking up last new pair and going up again through the 2 beads, the last 2 beads, like this. So not through the base anymore, but the last 2 beads from the first pair actually. So, and now you continue like this, adding the pairs. And I will quickly make 1 more row, and I usually go down and up at the same time. Down and up on the next one. Down and up. And you can already see it's turning into a tubular shape. Down and up. And up this time through the last 2 beads again. And continue the rope like this, because this is a repetitive stitch, and you can choose only 1 color to go with, like through the whole rope. I choose to have 3. The gradient doesn't have any specific pattern. It's up to you if you want to mix up like other beads in it, so that's completely up to you. And continue like this until you have the full rope, and then I will get back to you and we will add more beads and the end caps and finish up the clasps. So when you finish the rope, we will do the end cap now. So before you put the end caps there, I recommend, especially on these thicker tubular herringbone ropes, I recommend first apply the permalag, which is the protective coating we carry. We have semi-gloss and matted version. For these beads I use the semi-gloss, because if you use galvanized beads or other coatings, can easily come off, especially if it's touching your neck. If you are not using Duracoat or Permafinish Toho seed beads, I would recommend coating it and protecting your rope for a long time. And the second thing I wanted to mention is, because it can get, especially when you use threads like the Miyuki, Henna or 1G, it's the rope won't be that stiff, so I'm trying to fill it up with some kind of a rope or a tube which I bought in a convenience store. And it can be anything which can be hidden in the rope, so take the rope with you when you go shop for this. It can be various stuff. I have ropes like this, it's completely artificial and it won't be visible in the tube, so it can be whatever. I remember once I take down like the base for a necklace which was woven with some colorful fabric, so you can also do that. And fill the rope, and then we add the end cap. So the end cap is a peyote, tubular peyote, which is closed up here at the bottom. We closed it up with a check 6mm round, and then we add the herringbone loop. So how to make the end cap. We will start for the 8 bead herringbone tube. We will add 20 11 for the end cap. So I'm stringing 20 11/0s, and this number will have to be adjusted accordingly to your rope. So for me, with these beads and with this rope, it's 20. The only thing is that it needs to be an even count, and it needs to fit around your rope. So for me, when I tested it on the first end cap, it was 20. So I strung 20 beads, and I'm making knots to close it up into a circle. It doesn't have to be like super tight, but like the minimum gaps, and I recommend testing it to putting on. It should be a bit loose, because when you add more beads it will stiffen up a bit and you still want to be able to put it on. So 20 it is. And this is a simple tubular peyote. Again, if you struggle with this, try flat peyote or watch some our videos, because I want to go into the detail. But basically I am picking 1 11/0, I'm skipping the next 11/0 in the line and going through the third one, picking up another one, skipping one, going through the third one. So in the end I will have 10 beads which will stick up, and 10 beads which will be on the lower layer. And this is the bottom part of the end cap, and then we will work our way up, adding more rows. And with the last bead I need to step up, so I will go both through the bead in this row and also the first bead I added, and I will pull. So now you should have something like this. And now, continuing the peyote stitch, you will add 1 bead and only go through the beads that stick out. Try to pull to keep everything tight and make it close into the rope like shape. So I'm picking 1 11/0, I switch to the copper color, and I'm quickly working my way up. And I will continue like this. And the length of or the size of your end cap depends on you, how long you want it to have it, how big of a piece of rope you want to cover it at the end. Here I stepped up again, and just make sure both of the end caps are the same. So for me this works. So now I have 4 rows, so 1 2 3 4. And if I count this cap, so I have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, and in the 11th one it's this one, when we also reduce the number of beads. So we have 4, right? So add 6 more rows, then I will catch up with you and we will make the cap smaller and we will close it. So after you finished your 10th row, which you will know that you have 5 beads here and 5 beads here, we need to reduce the number of beads to the half, so only 5 will be sticking out after this row, and then we will finish up the cone. So the first bead is the same like regular peyote, so I'm adding 1 11/0, and then through the next gap I will go without anything. So I will skip adding the bead and just go through without anything. Then I will pick up a bead, go the classic way and then go through another gap without anything. And continue like this around. I usually do it at the same time, so I go through the gap where should I add the bead, and then without anything I continue at the same time. Now the 4th bead and the 5th, and I also need to step up, so here I will add the bead, here I go without anything, and here I step up like this. So now we have 5 beads that are sticking out, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this will be the place when we finally close the cone, like the cap, like here, with the final 5 beads. Now it seems a bit weird because they are quite distant from each other. You will have to pull quite a lot, and if you have issues in the future that the gaps are too big, you can also, instead of 11 O's, put there just 8 O or 2 millimeter round or something like that. So I'm picking one 11 O and I'm going through the next bead that is sticking out, and it will close the cap. Again, picking one 11 O and going like this. It's the same like when you are closing beaded beads on top. I did it in my faraway necklace, which is also on our YouTube channel. So that was the 4th bead and the last one, like this. So now you should see like a little flower from these final 5 beads, and I would recommend, since we had quite a big gap everywhere, to go through the 10 beads without anything, just to strengthen it. So go just through the top 10 beads, one more time, and pull. And now the end cap is ready to be put on the rope. So all I need to do is to head down through the beads and start working on this side again. So I will go down through the beads. So it's invisible, so follow the natural line of the beads and head down. I would also recommend, just to be sure, like when you're halfway here, to pick a string with a thread between 2 beads, like this, so you can see it here, and make a loop and go through it 2 times to basically make a secure knot for future purposes if something might happen. And then I will just continue down. And this is how you make the end cap, and now you only have to attach it to the rope. Before you attach the end cap onto the rope, I would recommend hiding the tail. So I threaded it. I'm picking again thread between 2 beads, making a loop and going through it 2 times, and then I will just go up away from the knot through the beads, and there I will cut the thread. Like this. Now I will bring over my necklace with the rope. So I have the filling rope in there. I will keep it there. It's colorful, but it's fine, it's not visible. And you need to push it inside. I cut it a bit longer to make it stiffer. And then all you need to do is to put the end cap on there. And then what we want to do is to attach mostly the peyote beads which are sticking out, so the most bottom row, to the herringbone pairs. So I would recommend turning the end cap in that way that you can see that between the herringbone pairs there's like the direction of the thread is going up and down, up and down. So start where basically when you turn it like this, here you have the thread direction like going a bit down. There is a little wave of the thread which is like this. So that's the place you want to start. So I have it here and I am going through that bead because that it means that the beads are under an angle and this will make your life so much easier. And here I will go like this and then I will find a bead which is closest to this point, which is this one. So I'm going through that. Now I will turn the work and I will try again to find the good herringbone place. And you might have to go actually through the peyote here to get there. So I moved over to this peyote bead which is sticking out, and again I'm at the like place where the thread is making this kind of shape, and I'm going through the beaded rope and back up again. Excuse me. And then again I'm finding a bead which is close in the end cap, and I am turning, and another place for me in the herringbone is here. So I'm moving over there through my peyote stitch, and now I'm going through the rope and back up through the bead in the end cap. And now I think we are almost around. We started here and we are here. So I will move over. It's now like 2 beads. Going again through the herringbone and back up. And we are where we started from. So this kind of work is very flexible. It really depends on what you are doing, on the project you are making. It can't be like told that you go here and here to the beads, like skip 2 beads. That's sadly not the issue here, or sorry, not the case here. So you need to think about it more, and all you want to do is to attach the end cap to the beaded rope, and at the same time it should be invisible and strong enough to hold the rope. And what I want to do to strengthen it up even more, and I will follow what I did, and basically in the same spaces I attached it, I will do it the second time. And after that I can move up again and attach the round and the herringbone loop. So try to have an open mind with this. Use some matching thread so it's invisible, and this might take a bit of a practice, but it's nothing very difficult. And it's definitely one of those techniques that you will, when you learn it, and I'm pretty sure you will use it very often. So continue like this, and then I will join you later. So the end cap is attached, and now again I am moving up through the end cap. Just make sure you have long enough piece of thread that will allow you make the herringbone loop. If not, just attach another one, knot it off and use another piece. and I'm trying to get here. So we will put here this 6mm round, which will start here from this bead and go across, so it will finally get attached here. So I'm putting on this 6mm bead. I'm also putting on an 11/0, which will be my anchor, and 2 15/0s, from which we then will follow and continue on the beaded loop. And I'm going down through the 11/0 and the 6mm round, and I want to go through the same bead we anchored to here, but from the other side. Also position the two beads so they are sitting next to each other, like this. And what we want to do now is go back up again through the 6mm round, through the 11/02, and also through the 15/0s. We'll go quite a lot of times through these. So later I recommend definitely switching up to 12 size needle. And then you again need to go down through everything. And now we want to finally anchor it here on this side. So completely across, find the bead which is in line. They are not sharing the row, but they are sharing this line, and go through it. And then go up again through everything, pull, and you should exit through one of those 15/0s, like this. And now you are ready to make the herringbone loop. We will continue with a simple herringbone stitch with just 2 beads. So I'm picking 2 15/0s, and I'm going down and back up again, just the regular herringbone stitch. I did this for the Rivoli toggle clasp video, so you can watch it also there. And again I'm picking 2 more and going up again. And as I tested it on the previous, like the other side, like the final count you should have to be able to make it over the cap button. I did 33 in total, so I had 33 of these pairs, and then when I go through the loop to tighten it and make the sides even, it wasn't enough, so I would recommend 34 in total or 35 15/0s. I mean, I stretched it in the end, but it's not ideal, so I would go this time 34 pairs in total. And I will continue adding these beads. Then I will get back to you and show you how to finish it up to make the size even and be sure that the loop is correct, because since we are like coming out twice on only one side here on this side, then the left side can open a bit more, which is not the best. So I will catch you later. Now I should have 34 pairs of this herringbone, and what we want to do is to connect it up. So be careful not to turn it so it gets crossed. You want it to have it in the correct way, and we will try and connect it. So I'm going in the same line through the first bead here, and I'm going down towards the 6mm round. Then I'm going to the other way, so it looks like this. Then I turn it and I will move to the second 15/0 on the other side, like this. and I connect the other side. Again, it's in my toggle clasp video, so you can catch more details there. And I'm going through all this side to make it match the other one. You can go multiple times, but this is also fine because you went already so many times through the herringbone that it should be fine. I recommend now testing it, that it actually works before you completely close it up, and it slides on perfectly. So now you're done, you can knot it off. I am paranoid and I still have a piece of thread, so I will try and go. I will skip the first 15 rows and go like in a circle through the 15 rows one more time. Just to be sure that all stays in the same place and all will be nice, even after some time you wore the necklace. Yeah, and now you can knot off the thread, so pick somewhere, a place where you find a piece of thread between beads, and like I usually do, I will try to make a loop somewhere. Yes, I'm doing directly here, making a loop, going through it 2 times, pull, and then I will just go, if I can actually, because I went already so many times through the beads, just try to go somewhere to get away from the knot and hide it in between the beads. Yes, like this. Pull and cut, and now I can close it, and this is it. This is the piece finished, and this is how it looks. So to finalize this video, I will tell you one more time what we learned and what we used for it. So we did this Octocup necklace, and for this necklace I used actually 20 the jet full Sliperit smooth cuff buttons, so in total it's 20. And etched ones, it was etched full Sliperit, and I used only 15. Then I used 14 of 6mm check round beads. You can use also fire polished. You can try and play with the sizing. I think like 8mm, like going bigger to stop turning of the cuff button segment is also a possibility. So if you want to play, go ahead. This color, it was Metallic Color Trend Saturated Grenadine. That's a very long name, but you can use anything. Then we used Wildfire for the black one, for the cuff buttons and like the centerpiece of this necklace. And for the rest, we went with a Miyuki KO thread because this is the rope would be too stiff, so we switched to the normal Miyuki thread. And then of course we needed seed beads, so we worked with 15 O's with Duracoat Galvanized Dark Berry color for the stringing here around the cuff buttons and the loops. And then for the end caps and for the whole herringbone rope, I used mix of copper, which is like 11 O beads, and mix of 3 colors. So this is copper, the check coating. Then we have the galvanized wine, which is no Duracoat, so I really recommend using the Permalock protective coating to protect your beads and their finishes to make them last long. And finally, for this for this part, I used Cranberry Gold Luster. And we worked with basic string, so you can start even like with this simple beginner project, and this is also a possibility. Then we moved over to herringbone stitch, which is tubular one, is used on the rope, and this is the flat one, just 2 beads, and it makes the loop. Then we moved over to POD, which are the end caps. And if you struggle with these toggle clasp, you can watch my Rivoli toggle clasp video, which covers this topic and also teaches you how to bezel Rivoli instead of the cap button, so you can learn even more there. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Maybe one more piece of information. I got an idea from one of our customers, and the idea was that you can switch actually this rope, and you can like switch for a longer one, for a shorter one. You can also switch the material, so you can just do leather rope or something like that. So there are a lot of possibilities, and it's definitely up to you how you finish the necklace. We went full beaded necklace, no metal clasps, no metal parts, only glass. So thank you very much for watching this kind of big video how to make my cap button necklace. If you have any questions, ask in the comments below the video, or post them into our Facebook group of beading and jewelry making. Don't forget to post there the final pictures, because we always love to see them. So thank you very much. Thank you for spending your time with us. If you need any of those supplies, the links will be underneath the video in the description box. And have a nice day and happy beading.